We are just a month away from Selection Sunday. Where do the Red Raiders rank in some key metrics to make the NCAA tournament? Plus, where are they projected currently right now in bracketology? And what remaining games do the Red Raiders have left on their schedule that could be winnable? We'll discuss that and much more in today's video. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And I know typically I ask you guys like the video if you're excited about Texas Tech men's basketball, but it's Valentine's Day. I want to hear from you guys in this sense. What do you love most about Texas Tech? And if you had to hear what I love about Texas Tech most, first and foremost, it's I got to meet my wife there and some of my best friends. But I want to hear from you guys on the pinned comment below. What do you love most about Texas Tech? Is it that, hey, you met your significant other there, you met your best friends, the degree that benefited you for years and years afterwards? Let me know down on the pinned comment below. All right, let's jump into the bracketology outlook for Texas Tech. We're going to start with some key metrics first, though. KenPom, Texas Tech is 22nd right now and has the 10th best adjusted offense in the country. What does that mean? The Red Raiders have the 10th best offense in the country. Crazy. And there's people out there looking at you, Hunter Dickinson, that think Texas Tech just shoots lights out when it's playing against Kansas. No, they're the third best shooting team in the Big 12. Shut your mouth, as Travis Kelce would say, ya jabroni. Next, net rankings, 25th for the Red Raiders. T-rank, 24th. And then BPI, which stands for Basketball Power Index, is at 25 for the Red Raiders. So you're in that 22 to 25 range. That's ideal if you're Texas Tech, because if you look at it from a KenPom perspective, each team ranked in the top 35 of KenPom every year that they've had it since 2002, when it was really its first year, has made the NCAA tournament. So Texas Tech is firmly in the mix there. Now, when it comes to bracketology, it's interesting. CBS Sports actually has Texas Tech on the bubble. Weird, but we'll get to that here in a little bit as well. ESPN has the Red Raiders as a 7 seed in the East region. They would face off against the 10 seed Boise State. Booza, you'd have a rematch there, or a familiar face anyway. Then you've got Bracketville as a 7 seed as well in the Midwest region. They face off against one of the more interesting stories in all of college basketball in the Washington State Cougars. Do they have them projected? The Red Raiders would play as the 10 seed in terms of Washington State. Now, CBS Sports, as I mentioned, they're the lowest on the Red Raiders. They have them as a 9 seed in the Midwest region, facing off against a number 8 seeded Nevada squad that's really solid. But I mean, the love for the Mountain West is kind of crazy in terms of some of these teams this year. That would be up in Indy. Now, as for the next game for the Red Raiders, you may know it is up in Ames, Iowa, one of the most difficult places to play. And the Cyclones are a legit, in my opinion, Final Four contender. Now, would I say that they're going to make it? No, but would I be surprised if they did? Hell no. TJO's got those boys playing up in Ames, and that's who Texas Tech plays on Saturday at 11 a.m. Not an ideal tip time for Texas Tech, but you know they're going to go out there and fight, as they do each and every game, with Grant McCasland as the head coach. That is scheduled for Saturday, February 17th at 11 a.m., and you can watch it on ESPN+. Now, I got to ask you this, though. You know I'm a big question guy when it comes down to it, and I love to hear from you guys in the comments. Predict it for me. Texas Tech men's basketball will be a blank seed in the NCAA tournament. Right now, as it stands, they're projected to be a 7 seed by ESPN and Bracketville, as we just discussed. And then CBS Sports, it's funny, they had them as a 4 seed just a couple weeks ago. Now the Red Raiders are a 9 seed and on the outside looking in damn near for CBS Sports. But I want to hear from you guys. Texas Tech men's basketball will be a blank seed in the NCAA tournament. All right, let's look at the remaining schedule for Texas Tech. And we got odds for it. It is from Bart Torvark, his T-ranks over there. And Texas Tech, according to his metrics, is a 8.5-point underdog at number 10 Iowa State. Truthfully, that sounds about right. It's hard as hell to win in Ames. And then each and every game remaining on the schedule for Texas Tech, there's 7 left, including the Iowa State game. Texas Tech is favored in 6 of them. Each game after Iowa State, as it stands right now, the Red Raiders are favored. And yes, that includes every road game. Texas Tech is favored by 5.5 points against TCU. Then they're favored by just half a point at UCF. They're favored by 3.5 against Texas. They're favored by 7.5 at West Virginia, 5.5 at Oklahoma State, 3.5 at Oklahoma State, and then 2.5 at home on senior night against what currently stands as the number 13 team in the country in the Baylor Bears. Now, favored in 6 of your last 7, you have my attention. Do I think Texas Tech is actually going to win all these games? No, because let's face it, it's the Big 12, and winning is really hard. That said, you look at what Texas Tech has from a home schedule, you should be able to beat TCU. You should be able to beat Texas. And you took Baylor really down to the wire, all things considered, with a team that was decimated by the flu and without your second best player, arguably in Warren Washington. Okay? So you look at some of the road games you have, and I say this as nicely as possible. This isn't a shot. It's just looking at the current standings. You have 2 road games, specifically in West Virginia and Oklahoma State, that are very winnable, you would think. Now, winning on the road in the Big 12 is the hardest thing to do in college basketball. I stand by that. But in theory, you are a much better team than West Virginia and Oklahoma State. So you could technically win those games. If you hold business at home, you told 10 toes down at home, right? And you just win your home games, and then you sprinkle in another win in the Big 12, that's 11. You're sitting in a really good spot. Does that win you the conference? No, probably not. You probably got to get to 12-6. That said, though, you look at it, Texas Tech has a really solid chance if they handle business and win some games that they should in terms of the talent level, albeit on the road, to be there at the very end of the season to win a Big 12 regular season title. Now, they've got some work to do, and that Cincinnati game really sucks just from a fluke perspective, and you losing it because you'd be tied right now at the top of the Big 12 standings with Iowa State and Houston. You lost, though. That's part of it. But your schedule lays out really, really nicely if you're Texas Tech to potentially make a run at a regular season Big 12 title. All right, bracketology for the whole league now. You look at it, all the 3 major sites has the Big 12 with 9 bids currently. ESPN, 9 bids. Bracketville, 9 bids. CBS Sports, 9 bids. This feels right. Like double digits, I think, is possible, but it's going to be difficult just because it's dog eat dog every night in the Big 12, and there's just no nights off, and it's almost that self-carnage aspect of it. But don't get it twisted. The teams that do make the tournament are going to be the most prepared out of any teams in the country, bar none. That's just how it's going to be because, again, in the Big 12, you minimum have 15 quad 1 opportunities. There's no other conference in America that presents that. The SEC is probably the second best conference in America. Maybe the Big East. You can have that debate. It doesn't matter. They're not even relatively close to what the Big 12 is doing. And Texas Tech is firmly at the top of that right now when you look at everything in the sense of, okay, you're 7-4 in conference play. You got to go up to Ames. That's going to be difficult. But I just talked about it. Their schedule sets up nicely, as I put it back at the bottom of the screen right there with the current odds from T-Rank. You're favored in 6 of 7. Okay, you have a chance to go up there if you handle business specifically at home and then beat some teams that you're more talented than, specifically West Virginia and Oklahoma State on the road. If you handle business there, again, you look at it, that's 5 wins. If you have another slip up, okay, 4, you're at 11. There's a chance that Texas Tech could be at 11, 12 wins in conference play. And if that's the case, I think you're firmly in the mix for a Big 12 title in terms of the regular season. Now, again, you got 7 games left. You have to handle business. But that being said, we're just a month away from Selection Sunday, and that's a lot of fun. So the Big 12 Conference, I got to ask you guys before we head out of here, will be a blank bid league. 9, 10, you think 11? Let me know down in the pinned comment below. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. But even more importantly than that today, show some love to Texas Tech and why you're thankful for being a Red Raider. Let me know down on the pinned comment below why you love Texas Tech so much. For me, again, it's my wife, my friends, the education I got, the countless memories and the opportunities that I got. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know why you love Texas Tech so much down on the pinned comment below. All right, I'm RC Maxfield reminding you, if you want to join the most engaging Texas Tech community and stay in the know on Texas Tech football and men's basketball all year long, it's really simple. All you got to do is 3 things. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on Texas Tech football and men's basketball all year long right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.